Okay, we are now working on the molar mass practice worksheet, and so we are going to be calculating the molar mass. Make sure you have your periodic table ready because you're going to be looking at the atomic masses on that. So first of all, we're going to do 1 through 5 on the first video and then 6 through 10 on the second video. Alright, so first thing we need to do is figure what elements we have. For sodium bromide, we have sodium and bromine. We have 1 sodium and we have 1 bromine. So you're going to look at the periodic table and you're going to look for sodium. And by doing such, you find that sodium its atomic mass is 22.99. So we're going to multiply 1 times 22.99 because that's how many sodiums we have. So that equals 22.99. Now you're going to look for bromine on the periodic table and it's 79.90. So 1 times 79.90. And to find the molar mass, you're going to be adding these two numbers together. And that comes out to be 102.89 AMUs. Or we could use grams per mole because that's what we're going to be using for the conversion factors. Technically it's AMU, but when we're doing it when we're using these numbers as conversions, the units that we're going to be using are grams per mole. Alright, so number 2 is lead sulfate. So we have lead, sulfur, and oxygen. We have 1 lead, 1 sulfur, and 4 oxygens. Looking on the periodic table, you find lead, and you find it's 207.2. So 1 times 207.2. Sulfur is 32.07. So 1 times 32.07. And then oxygen is 16.00. So it'd be 4 times 16.00, which is 64. You're going to add all these numbers together. And that comes out to be 303.27. I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to grams per mole, even though it's also AMUs. So we have calcium for number 3, oxygen, and hydrogen. We have 1 calcium. Notice this 2. That 2 only goes to the oxygen and hydrogen. It only goes to what's inside the parentheses. So we have 2 oxygens and 2 hydrogens. Looking on the periodic table, you find that calcium is 40.08, oxygen is 16.00, and hydrogen is 1.01. So 1 times 40.08, 2 times 16.00, and 2 times 1.01. We're going to add all those numbers together. And that's going to come out to be 74.10 grams per mole. Number 4. Oops, too far. Sodium, phosphorus, and oxygen. We have 3 sodiums, 1 phosphorus, and 4 oxygens. Looking on the periodic table, we find that sodium is 22.99, so it's 3 times 22.99, which comes out to be 68.97. Phosphorus is 30.97, so 1 times 30.97. And oxygen is 16.00, which comes out to be 64.00. We're going to add these 3 numbers together now. And that comes out to be 163.94. And finally, for number 5, for this set, we have nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. Notice this 2 on the outside. That's going to the nitrogen and the hydrogen. So that means we have 2 nitrogen, but we actually have 8 hydrogen because it's 4 times 2. 1 carbon and 3 oxygens. By looking on the periodic table, we find that nitrogen is 14.01, so 2 times 14.01. Hydrogen is 1.01, which comes out to be 8.08. Carbon is 12.01, which comes out to be 12.01. And oxygen is 16.00, which then comes out to be 48.00. We're going to add these amounts together. And that comes out to be 96.11. And we're going to stop it here, and we're going to pick up on number 6 on the next video. So I hope you guys followed along with that.